Hello, my name is Karen Kaplan, and I'm a JUFJ leader in Montgomery County. I'm honored to introduce you to Joanna Silver, one of this year's Heschel Vision awardees. JUFJ honorees are often the mensches in the trenches, and there is no menschier person in the trenches than Joanna Silver. Deeply involved with immigrant rights, police accountability, and reform of our broken criminal justice system, Joanna is not a single issue person. She brings her expertise and knowledge, both in subject matter and in how to make a compelling case, to the work that she does with JUFJ. Joanna's passionate commitment to promoting social justice and racial equity is an embodiment of Jewish values, and I'm so proud to be her friend and to introduce you to her today.
I first met Joanna while she was working with JUFJ, and she was engaged on a number of police accountability bills that were introduced at the time in the legislative session.
So I knew Joanna by reputation before I ever met her. People kept telling me that I had to meet this amazing activist who's a leader with Tacoma Park Mobilization and a member of Atambula Emmanuel and involved in so many important issues locally. So the first time that Joanna and I worked closely together was on the Universal Representation Campaign. That's a Montgomery County effort to secure funding to ensure that people who are facing deportation have access to a lawyer.
In our office, Joanna's work has been simply extraordinary. Public defender offices, maybe lawyers in general, at least litigators, tend to have people with two broad skill sets. And one is you have people who are strong writers and written advocates. Sometimes you have lawyers who are great courtroom lawyers, fabulous at telling a story and sort of advocating in court. Joanna, just in terms of her skill set, is unusual because she's very strong at both.
Joanna is absolutely remarkable in her advocacy for our nephew, Eli, her adopted son, who is 21 years old, autistic.
So these traits, when I think of Joanna, I think of spiritual traits that are really celebrated in some of the spiritual movements of Judaism that come to mind. And top of the list, the terms that embody Joanna have impacted her both in the long term and the short term. Her zeal has translated into recruiting folks from her synagogue community, where actually I joined JUFJ because Joanna and I were really close when I was the youth advisor to her son at Temple Emmanuel. And she talked to me all the time about justice issues in our synagogue, right? And she had such joy in advocating for justice in all of her community spaces that she even took time in our synagogue community to help organize a sleep out for homelessness.
I keep coming back to the analogy of a baseball player that's a five-tool player, which is someone who's just the total complete package to be able to do the work. And Joanna is someone who is the complete package to be an effective advocate. She has a deep understanding of policy. She's able to explain complex ideas in very clear ways. She's strategic and she has a great analysis of the political landscape that we work in. She's really invested in building coalitions and partnerships with the understanding that the only way to fight against systems of white supremacy is with collective action.
She's just such an advocate, and she has so much compassion and care and empathy and a sense of what's right and what's fair.
Joanna also did a whole lot of behind the scenes work that I don't think many people are familiar with. She was often someone who I would get a second opinion about a bill or an amendment or something that maybe felt complicated or needed a second set of eyes. She was often someone who I consulted, and she was happy to do that. She did it graciously and helpfully and thoroughly.
She never gave up on the principles, on the ideas that were important, and on the people who were being harmed, because those ideas, due process, truth, justice, fairness, were not part of the system. And she refused to accept alternatives that did not serve the people who were being so unfairly harmed. And I felt a great sense of relief that there was Joanna Silver, in the world, because it's only because of people like her that the most important things and the most vulnerable people get protection.
Joanna, congratulations on being the recipient of the 2021 Heschel Vision Award. You are so richly, deeply deserving of this. So grateful that we were able to honor you and your powerful work in this way.
Joanna, congratulations on receiving the 2021 Heschel Vision Award.
Joanna, congratulations. Mazel tov on receiving the 2021 Heschel Vision Award. I am so proud of you. We are all so proud of you.
My desire to seek justice and to do what I can to repair this very broken world has been intertwined with my Jewish identity for as long as I can remember. One of my most meaningful childhood memories is of a social justice trip to Washington, D.C. with my rabbi, where we learned about homelessness, performed direct service, and lobbied our representatives in Congress. I am deeply grateful to have found JUFJ, where this part of my Jewish identity has been supported and nurtured. I've learned so much from JUFJ's staff and leaders, and from the many partner organizations with which we work in coalition. Being a public defender is as core to my identity as being Jewish. It is a privilege to represent and be in relation with my clients as they try to survive our inhumane criminal and immigration legal systems. I am incredibly lucky to be able to work as a public defender while also engaging in volunteer policy advocacy and organizing. I am fortunate to be able to move back and forth between my professional and volunteer worlds, taking what I learned from one and applying it to the other. I am grateful to everyone in my life who has made that possible in a variety of ways. My colleagues at work, my comrades in the community, and my family. Thank you.